Addiction thinks in circles, whereas invention thinks in spirals.
Yes. Yes,
And
yes,
I
yes.
love it. And spiral is not one dot, it's actually one seed becoming bigger and bigger and bigger
Mhm.
and bigger and bigger and bigger.
So I'm grateful for that. And then two, just the pain just reminding me like this body is so amazing.
Where else can you go
Hmm.
other than inside? And
Hmm.
when you're so almost like forced to face yourself, you find lots of love. Like, I don't like wasting any minute. He's back and he looks great,
I'm back. Back in
refreshed.
action. Yeah, I'm
You got
happy
some
to
tan.
be back on the island.
Good to see you.
Yeah. How have you been? Missing
Good.
me, obviously.
Mm, mm. I mean, I thought it's gonna be a minute until we took this off, and I was like, ah, is the end here?
Yeah, I thought about that too.
Yeah. Did you
So
miss
you had a,
dogs?
yeah, I wasn't thinking about them.
Hmm.
I'll say that. Like I wasn't like actively thinking about them because we had so much going on.
Mm.
Um, but now that I'm here, it's just like a remind. It's like this provides a certain stability and cadence,
Mm.
and it just feels so good to be back here with you. So
I totally agree. It's like I opened the book and whew,
yeah,
I was like, wow, this does feel consistent. You're absolutely right. Because
yeah,
I
yeah.
kind of didn't know how to get back into it. And I was like, weird, awkward.
Right.
So good. Well, uh, we have time. I don't have to rush today. I have a couple of things later, but it's raining, so I'm not going anywhere because I just washed my car and I don't want to go anywhere. So,
Gotcha.
yeah. But what'd you think about this one? I
Um,
thought you'll have probably so much to say about this because you love this topic.
yeah, it's kind of like actually I have like questions starting with where I'm like, this one isn't as clear to me of what's happening or how what the process he's describing.
Mm.
Um, it's like on one hand, it seems very obvious. And it's like, yeah, I get it. On the other hand, I'm like, but what does that mean for like what's actually changing? Like what's actually changing for relationships, for sexual attraction, for okay, like the population is decreasing, but are there like do people are still procreating or is that like how's humanity going to continue, you know? So I have
I love
questions
it.
that are yeah, that are maybe unanswerable, but I figured it would be a good launching or leaping point.
So what do you think is happening with relationships? What's changing? What's staying? What's occurring? What's
Yeah.
mutating?
So if the fear is coming to the forefront and being allowed to be there and being recognized, then and the fear is driving a lot of the subconscious attraction we have to the other, then we will probably, as a collective, probably have a lot less sex, a lot less like flingy relationships, I would assume. Everything would be more intentional. These are, who knows if I'm right, but it seems that way. It seems like if it's not driven out of fear, then it would be, it would require us to show up with our whole being and then in transparency, like having everything in alignment as much as possible. And then it's like, now if we don't match, it's okay because I don't need you and you don't need me. Like the need comes out of the fear, it feels.
Mhm.
So it just might be more of a rare thing that that humans decide to lock it in and make a baby. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Um, I really like how he explained it's not our need, it's actually genetic need.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the genes that are making us fearful of one another.
Mm-hmm.
And in that fear, there's this like arousal of sexuality for procreation that is ingrained into the genetics and DNA. And we can't, but because it's doing its own thing, it wants to survive on its own. And the only way to find that connection and attraction and extension or procreation is to utilize I'm sorry, the only way to procreate itself and extend itself is to work through attraction, to
Mm.
attract and grab. That's how I understood it. Almost like to find its connection is literally when you really zoom out, it's what the relationships turn out to be, just this attachment style, this like clingy, this like almost like a leech, right? So you're
Yeah.
literally coming in and grabbing onto something, and you are, of course, not really prepared to deal with anything else other than that hold. And I like how he separates it from what we know and what we feel versus what is actually happening down underneath it, and how we as species are attracting the opposition, attracting through fear, attracting through that which we cannot control. So to me, that this was really cool that he explained it. So the genes are fighting for themselves to sustain.
Mm-hmm.
And he then
Mm.
elaborates, if this was not the case, we would be just one circle, boring,
Mm.
not multi-layered. We would not evolve to complexity that we are right now. We would not have differences, culture, the richness in it that all brings, if it was not for that opposition or that almost like war to
Mm-hmm.
sustain. And if you really think about how the biology is also naturally behaving, it's like all the sperms are going out there and fighting. They're literally in constant war amongst each other, millions.
Yeah.
So there's no
Mm-hmm.
difference in it, but it's actually genetics, right? So genetics wanted to extend itself. So we're just almost like a kinetic, how he explained it later. It's like we're just a vehicle for the
Yeah.
genes, and we just happen to plop this soul. The soul and later everything that comes in, that's a different story. But we're fighting against the genes. So all of this is now changing, and not in our lifetime. He did say it's going to take thousands of years, but we're actually aware more that we have way more than just genitals, genetics, and sexuality, and it's rooted in the solar plexus. There's so much more that evolved from it too that matters.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting that that picture of the human being as the vehicle for the genetic desire or the genetic, yeah, pushing to expand and yeah, it's a little bit eerie.
Oh, right. But okay, really cool. But look how aware we are that this too can be a possibility. We're no longer blind. We're no longer rejecting anything else other than what we were taught. So we're actually open to have another way of looking at things, another perspective, another understanding. Look how open we are. It's like maybe this is the
Mm-hmm.
case and it's okay that we might be just really we got here through the hell. We kind of started in purgatory.
Mm-hmm.
If you
Yeah.
really look, right? So we actually Dante has been on my mind for quite some time. So it's like we actually started. maybe backward. Maybe that's also a way to look at it. But why not open your mind? You know, why not having an openness rather than being so close-minded and rigid? I think that hurts more to be rigid in one way versus to have many, many options.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think of the fear of specifically the fear of the opposite sex
Mm.
as being something that's unapproachable for most people. And you know, to kind of depict it, I think of like medieval times or earlier when it's depicted as like the man is very rough and tumble. He works on a ship or something. He drinks a lot, and then he finds a woman and he makes her do whatever he wants. It's like this, it's operating completely out of fear. There's actually no, there's no connection in that space. And then so we've, in pockets or in different cultures, we are opening up more to ourselves and like into our own fears. It's like, oh, my desire for control is stemming from fear. That doesn't make me look strong. It actually makes me look very weak
Hmm.
that I'm so controlled by this force. And so, yeah, it's opening up of being intimate with ourselves. And, I think this is driving a lot of the social change that's happening. And it's like, it's a confusing, complicated soup that comes out of the other side because it's like all of this repression, all of these experiences that we don't know how to give names to. Or it's like, it's confusing to say, oh, as a man, I fear what women can do to me. And then it's like, now I feel like I don't have any power in that relationship. I don't even have power for myself. And then you're kind of like,
Mm.
navigating those waters, and then you come through to the other side. It's like it can be true, and also, I do have power, and I do have awareness of who I am, and I can stand on my own. But really, it's like I think the driving force is like this fear to be alone, this
Mm.
and how destabilizing that can be. But it's interesting too. And speaking of being alone, he said, when you are alone, the fear is not there. But as soon as another person comes into the same room as you, it's a subtle undercurrent.
Yes.
So it's like, yeah, it's a complicated thing. And I would add to that, even the contemplation of another brings up the fear. It's only when you're like alone and reading a book, or hey, you're in a good space, that it's not existing. But if you're like thinking of a crush that you have or something, it's gonna come up. So
Mm. That's a well, I can speak about this a lot. There's a huge difference when you are truly you and when you're not you with someone else, because you're not you with someone else.
hmm
You're actually what they want you to be, and they are what
hmm
you want them to be. So you actually lose yourself immediately. There's this power because I'm worried now what you think, what you do. I worry so many things, and it's like, oh, forget about my reading. I'm actually worried. Are you waking up? Do you have, is
yeah,
everything in the fridge? Do I have to pay the bills? What's my role? It's automatic. And it doesn't
hmm
matter who is next to you, mother, child, partner, friend. It's literally automatic. I was on the concert and I was sitting with this woman, and you can sense the energy when she was next to, we were sitting on the floor, and you can sense I was thinking about my energy when she was there because I couldn't even sit next normally, like how I would sit. Literally, I was restless, and then my stomach started getting swollen, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go back to the bathroom and I'll be right
yeah,
back. And I didn't ghost her, but I went to the bathroom. I came out just fine. And I was like, oh, I feel much better.
yeah.
And I'm standing rather than sitting, and I'm watching the group at the concert, and I'm like, why do I feel so much better? It's like it's so weird. And the
Yeah.
concert was over, and I went back and I was like, I need to collect myself and be me regardless, because I just lost a part of me for whatever performance that I'm trying to do. And I'm not even aware of it, right? So my body's reacting to it. And then I went back and it was fine. And then it was just really weird, but you can feel you lose a little bit of yourself, if not all, when you're
Hmm.
next to someone. So there's always a fear that you're going to do something wrong, that that person is
Hmm.
not going to like, or you're going to, I don't know, be yourself. And that
Yeah.
is not going to be liked by someone else because you're not what they want you to. It's default. And it's very hard to be you when you're with someone.
Yeah.
No agenda,
Or,
no judgment.
hmm. Hmm.
I always keep coming back to that. No agenda, no judgment. So true. But there is always agenda when you're with partner, always.
Hmm. Hmm.
Unless you live in another space, which I think is ideal. So you're asking how relationships is going to be like. Have your space so I can have mine. Be you.
Hmm.
I don't want anybody else other than you. But when you show up and we have a lunch, dinner, a night together, be pure you. Don't try anything else other than you being you. But to do that, you have to find you. And I can't
Yeah.
tell you who you are. So you're asking, your original question was, I need you. I don't see relationships as I need you to survive anymore. I choose you. There's a huge difference. And also that I want you comes, but it's becoming less and less important. Then we connect on a very different energetic level in which you and
Hmm.
I don't even know what's happening. Is it sexual? Is it eros? Is it life force? Is it creation? Is it just silence? Is it void? What is it? But it's so much than just a sensual pleasure. And okay, I'll stop here because I don't want to digress. I think it's important we address a lot of things related to this.
Okay, hold your thoughts. You don't let it go.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I think it's beautifully said. Carly has this gift pretty well tailored where she gets on a call with someone. She scheduled a call with someone, just to give an example. And 10 minutes before the call, she's like, I just started feeling so itchy and like all balled up. And she's like, I literally went outside and rolled around in the grass and like acted like an animal for a little bit. Then she gets on this call and she goes, Hi, how you feeling? You feeling, are you feeling pretty bound up and a little bit itchy in your skin? And the guy's like, Oh, absolutely. And then he's like, sorry for that. Because she like takes it on, she, being cancer and all that. She opens up that portal pretty well and has had to learn how to create filters for when it's okay and when it's not okay to just be open to all of it because like you said, you could be trying to have a good experience at a concert or go somewhere and then all of a sudden you're connecting your soul or whatever it is and you're feeling things that are not yours and it's like it gets confusing in that way. Um, did you know that about Carly?
Well, I know that she's like you touch her like you touch copper. Copper wire, you're literally like cleansed. Because I sense
Hmm.
that she doesn't absorb, and you did mention that she absorbs everyone's, but it's interesting to think about even the concept of setting the boundary and not to process anyone else's energy, no
Hmm.
matter what it is. I think, like we can think that we have control, but I often think I don't even have a control. I just don't think I learned how not to take things personally as mine anymore.
Yeah. Hmm.
It's like as long as I don't take it personal and I don't identify with it, because I will have the days when it's not great. like,
Hmm.
or it's like, I don't feel like myself at all. Like, where are these thoughts, where are these feelings, these waves coming from? So, this morning, great example. I woke up and I was like, what just happened yesterday? What? Okay,
Hmm.
now I'm me. I feel like me more than yesterday, right? So, interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I lost my train of thought. Um,
Carly.
yeah, the other piece is, in relationships, showing up as yourself and kind of having your separate space. It's like I could speak to that in a little bit with Carly and I, and what it kind of feels like when we do come together because we're not on an agenda and we're not on a schedule, um, and we're also not trying to be anything for each other other than like whatever we want to be that day. So it's like, oh, I want to be helpful to you. But then I have days where I'm like, I'm just not feeling good. And other days where I'm like, I want to go be free and go play. And she has her days. And it's like we accommodate and it's just like this allowance for it, much like how you and I show up for podcasts. It's like we're only expecting that if we do say yes to the podcast, that we'll be present, right? That's kind of like the only expectation. Other than
Yeah.
that, it's, you bring whatever you're going through, you bring I've had days where I'm like, I don't know, just not feeling a lot of energy. It's like we just go through it. And I think that allowance is really new and really refreshing. I mean, it's I hope that's something that we're moving towards is like this radical honesty of where we're
Mm,
at. And one critical piece he said is like, okay, no agenda, no judgment with the other. And then one thing I felt out of that practice is I can use it with myself. I can use it with, that piece of me that's showing up like, I have a stomach ache today and I'm just thrown off. I don't know what's going on. Instead of attaching and taking it personal,
mhm.
like how I'm feeling or that I can't show up the way I want to, I'm just like, this is what is. And I know it's not going to last, but how can I be honest with myself and not suppressing and not hiding because that will only like prolong it and cause pain for others. Because if I'm not wanting to show up and I'm pretending like at a corporate event, it's so painful. And then everyone's pain, like, amplifies the situation. And it's just like, that's why you leave those things and you're like, you need to like exhale and push it out or drink. Some people drink and it's like those activities of numbing and dealing with pain and suffering emanate out of this dishonesty, this inability to be transparent. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm. And also, I'll add to that. So, Yaima, you know the group, Yaima.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Is that who you saw?
yeah, last night they were
Oh,
here in
awesome.
LA in Venice. Oh, beautiful. And you know what I
Hmm.
noticed is that I think we know of suppression, we know of closing off, we know of fear, we know that so well.
Yeah.
It is almost recycled. It's like it
Hmm.
repeats itself over and over again. It's nothing new. It's like boring story, really, in a sense, when you really think about it. It had happened over and over again to me, to everybody that I know, and to generations. So you're literally every story is the same recycled story. Nothing new.
Hmm.
But what's occurring when you open the mind, when you start being having these, when everything seems to be invitation to notice, to connect to, the weather, the people, the music, the sounds, the movements, the hand gestures, everything is invitation. And when you start paying attention to this, it's like you're opening yourself up to a new world, not the one that you know. And what I noticed yesterday is that and I actually wrote about this. It's really interesting how the fear is almost left behind because the main focus now is moving into the new feeling. I don't, you know how weird it is? Yesterday was really weird to see one person who was high on drugs. Actually, there was no alcohol. There was nobody seemed high on any drug.
Yeah.
There was no visual stimulation with nothing. She
Hmm.
literally sang from the heart. We
Hmm.
had a cacao ceremony. We had a breath work. It was so pure. The vehicles, bodies, to me, seemed pure. And I'm
Yeah.
like, this is new. It's like you actually don't even have a feeling that you have to numb something inside of you. You're actually present, experiencing what is occurring in a moment. And to me, this was so eye-opening. I was like, people are actually slowly coming together in that respect the vehicle to be pure without any addictive substances. There's no need for it anymore. And this
Hmm.
happened at 4 p.m. It wasn't
Yep.
11, it wasn't at night. So I think there's a clear division, or almost like you can see it obviously, that people are looking into a new ways of approaching themselves while leaving this behind. And I don't have to go back and re-traumatize myself. There were couples, there were people, a lot of people that were in solo. So they're very comfortable into it. And I'm like, wow, this is absolutely amazing. And her messaging, her songs were all from the heart. And she entire time she was talking about beyond.
Yep.
It's
Very
fine.
Piscean. Hmm.
Yeah, and then you're talking. I thought about Aurora too. It's like this is the new art, and the new
Hmm.
frequency, the new high is heart.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's not sex. It's not five senses. It's not stimulate me, stimulate me, stimulate. It's actually spontaneity of it that comes in, and we're just receiving it, bathing in it, letting it go, receiving it, bathing in it, moment present.
Hmm. Yeah.
Really cool.
Hmm. Yeah. And speaking to sex specifically, like Carly and I, a week and a half ago, for the first time, or no, it was a little bit longer, 2 or 3 weeks ago, we did eye gazing. I think I did share this with you the last podcast. Um, but we approached it not like, okay, eye gaze for 5 minutes and then do your thing. It was just look at the other and stay in it.
Mm.
And with that, it brings up so much. And it's like that practice alone is so good for the intimacy, transparency within yourself. It brings up all of the urges, all of the insecurities, all of the um, worries that are misplaced or that we carry with us as like a default operating system. And it really connects you to your heart, which is like beyond those fears and yeah, beyond that.
Hmm.
And to your point with Yaima, she yeah, beautiful, beautiful heart opening experience. And it's almost like the more these events come online and gain popularity, the more that people try to show up with an altered state.
Okay, go ahead, go ahead. I want to add to
I
that something really important.
was gonna say that it's like the altered state shows up and it's so incongruent the with the environment, with the space, that it will that it's like it feels like it's weeding itself out. Like, you know, um, alcohol as a tool or as a device, as a alcohol specifically is I feel like it's losing its place in those spaces where we're trying to create an openness with heart energy and with that connection. Parangi, he said the when he starts um his music at a concert or whatever, he says the two things he has the most trouble with, and he can feel it in the collective, is alcohol and cocaine. But
Mm,
everything else, because they create distortions and they bring up this this energy it's like it just punches through. Like there's no awareness of surroundings. There's no awareness of like if you
mm,
eye gaze with someone who's drinking or on cocaine, it's it's a totally different experience. They almost have no
mm,
filter
mm.
or no, yeah. Anyway, what were you gonna say? Something came up strong.
Yeah, so you mentioned the more those type of artists become bigger and bigger. Okay. So I think the essence of the purity stays in much larger quantities when the artist remains small, actually.
Hmm.
Not
Yeah.
so big because you are then affected by you can't help but not affect the energy in its
Yeah.
purity. You actually it does get distorted the bigger it gets. So, and this is the other thing. It's like you when you find as long as you okay, so the size doesn't matter. The size is much bigger when it's small. That's the
Mm-hmm.
reality. Her effect yesterday was very private.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it wasn't large and big. There's no waiting line. As long as there's no waiting line, she can open her heart, right? So she can open her heart and sing from the heart. And then
Was there a
do
stage?
that small. It was
Yeah. Yeah.
actually a warehouse and it wasn't big at all. They just had the TV behind it. That's it. And it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
big, but she was able to loosen up in safety on it. So when you contemplate, for example, the contemplative thoughts come aroused, right? They show up this new part of you kind of bubbles up in the contemplation, and contemplation requires no noise. And the more noise
Mm-hmm.
you get and the more information you're feeding, you can't contemplate. You're literally narrowing the mindset down, which
Mm-hmm.
comes also that innocence that we were talking about, the childhood innocence. It's like the child is so wide open. And the more it knows, the more it narrows. And as we grow older, we are actually so much more closed off to any change. So, but to remain open, you actually have to distract the eliminate the noise so you can find that voice inside that talks, that bubbles up, whatever technique that you're doing. So, what I find interesting is that even when you find someone who is contemplative in nature, or who writes, who doesn't have the big following or the lineup or waitlisted, these are the most powerful, potent soils to enter pure
Mm-hmm.
inside and birth yourself as a new plant, a brand new species. It's like that is so crucial. So I loved, and I got her vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
It's the vinyl that I couldn't, and it's the only vinyl I paid this much.
Yeah.
And every other vinyl, it's just like retail, great.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so massive that it doesn't need to be. And she goes, and she doesn't, that was her entire merch and just a coaster
Mm-hmm.
for water
Mm-hmm.
and a little CD. She actually sells CDs.
Yeah.
There's no t-shirts, there's no this and that. No, no, just vinyl CD and a coaster.
Yeah.
Crazy. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, I love it. And it's literally just 100 pieces of vinyl and she signed it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is so cool. I was like,
Uh,
oh, I get her signature. So great. But I find when you're not if affected or infected by the environment you're living in, you're actually able to maintain the purity inside, which is so important.
mm, yeah. Yeah, and you know, creating these spaces where it's safe for the artist and for the people attending to not be big, I think is key too. Um,
Hmm.
and yeah, because when Carly and I went to Arcadia, there's many artists, and there's there's the ones that show up and it feels like celebratorial. And then there's artists like Yaima, um, Sheffy Oren Bach is another one. I'll share with you after. Um, there's a couple others who they just showed up and it just felt like people are talking and then someone comes on the mic and it's like, are they part of the audience or is this, like you're not really sure. It's just very like gentle approach, very um private feeling. Like private's a good name for it.
Mm.
Um and uh and I think of this band I really like, Sleep Token. They when they set out, they decided to disguise themselves. So they like paint their skin black and then they have masks for each of the members. And part of that this decision was to hide their identities so that they didn't become celebratorial and then they could have personal lives. And but what actually happened is it created more obsession from like the hardcore fans and became a problem because then they were people were digging into their personal lives and exposing them. um and in this most recent album they did, they talked about, it was like, little did I know, in trying to disguise who I am, I would create more interest in that piece of me. And it's like this catch 22 of like
Hmm.
you if you're putting yourself out there, you're almost immune to a sense of privacy. But those people, I don't know about Aurora, she seems huge, like very, very popular. But with Yaima and some of these others, it seems like they can maintain a personal life because of the gentleness and, like you said, not launching into like a merch kingdom and not pushing their marketing, or who knows what goes on behind the scenes, but it seems like there's a strong intentionality to maintain the sense of level playing field between artist and audience.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. And I find that to be so example would be a last breath work that I did was with Gaffney and Aubrey Marcus. And today, which was so staged, super staged. And this one was just a pure, there is no need to hold the
Yeah.
legs and ground
Hmm.
you. And it was so powerful.
Yeah.
I, it was so powerful in nature because they allowed you to be you without anyone influencing anything, or there's nothing extra, nothing extra. It was just pure trust that you know what you're doing,
Hmm.
and which liberated me to enter into it even more because like no agenda, no judgment, right? So it's like, how can I get to a space where I am free,
Hmm.
free and flow as such, rather than I'm not free if I'm thinking to do something that I'm supposed to do. No, I'm actually free if I'm able to enter into my own space to be just me and get to whatever of liberation or whatever moment of. And it was so different.
Hmm.
But all this to say is like, I think there's this clear, almost like it's not a separation, it's just uniqueness that stays untouched by the mainstream and by everything that all the rush and all the force and everything else. It's like it's so pure in nature that you're kind of like you're noticing yourself being different in that environment versus the other one. And you can't help it but not to kind of get kind of guided this way, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And I don't know, I just find it's such a difference. And I can just name many, many different examples of where I was just feeling so much that I have to be protecting myself and then do the work rather than actually loosening it up and relaxing to
Yeah.
spontaneity of life.
Yeah. Yeah. that key piece, of having intention around the way an experience is supposed to be, and then trying to manufacture that for everyone involved. And it's like, then it loses the potentiality for
Hmm.
it's spontaneous, and what's spontaneous is pure. It's like, okay, so we had, let's say that Jinky 30 podcast was the most amazing experience that you and I have ever had, and like in terms of like face to face talking. If we spent 31 through 59 trying to reach that point again, we would have lost all potential for all of these other realms that exist just because we trying to chase. It's like essentially like chasing a high. And,
Yeah.
you know, it seems like that tends to be the zeitgeist that pushes some of these larger creators, these well-known names like Aubrey Marcus, towards like chasing the high of um, whether it's ayahuasca or like festival experience or a breath work. And there's so it's like going back to what you said in the beginning. It's like if I can separate myself from the expectations of others or their energy and just show up for what it is, there's a little bit of that too. It's like despite despite them trying to make a show out of it and create all this anticipation and excitement, can I still have an experience, or is that drawing me so far out that I completely lose it and then no longer want to be anywhere near it? And you get to make that decision for yourself, but there's an element of um, it's a bit like you you go to this thing for kids when you're growing up, and it's the same thing over and over, and then you get old enough and you realize what's happening, and you get to decide, do I want to be like the cool older kid who's like, I already know what's happening here, like a magic show.
Mm.
Like if you figure out how the magic works and decide that it's no longer entertaining or you no longer want to be surprised by it. Yeah, I don't know. Getting lost in the sauce here.
But let's add to that. It's like, is it recycled or is it new? And you see, you're saying you have to be willing to let go of the peakest peaks and the highest highs. And the
Yeah.
most you ever been, the peak, the top, the whatever maximum of love, potential, orgasm, ecstasy, business, success, abundance,
Hmm.
you have to be willing to let go. You have to learn how to let go of all of it. And you
Yeah.
see, when the when so much power in material form, which is physical form, turns to be just here for you, available, you kind of become an arrogant human being in every area of life. If you really think about it, like it doesn't matter what, you can even go to politics with this too. It's too
Yeah.
arrogant. Then you start thinking of yourself as a god bigger than anybody else, and everybody is beneath you. There's this innate, like difference.
Hmm.
And when you're so arrogant, you actually have no humility. And why you don't have humility? Because you're shameless. There's no shame inside of you. Shame is kind of healthy because it brings you down to your knees. You want to be, you want to get humiliated to come back down to the real you.
Hmm.
I attend David White's 3 Sundays, and he talked about the cost of love. And this man, I've attended a couple of his classes already. He forgets. He forgets. He literally starts reciting and he just forgets. But he's 70 years old. He gets humiliated over and over again in his own sense. It's so pure that you're just looking at it dearly. You're fond of it, right? So you're
Hmm.
soft about it. You're not like, oh gosh. But he forgets in the middle of it. But he's willing to get humiliated to come back down to his purity. So he goes back and he's like, let's do it all over again. But the humiliation brings you back to your authenticity. And to get
Yeah.
humiliated, you actually have to be a little, have to have a healthy dose of shame to realize
Hmm.
that you're so arrogant because you think you reached that high and you cannot let go. So what happens is usually a peak, the low, and then you're resetting. So high, so low, and then you're regulated back in general. But how do you how do you actually practice letting go of the best things, of the best parts of you, and letting that go rather than actually continuing to recycle the same exact thing and opening yourself to spontaneity? I don't know why this word is so active, but it's spontaneity of life, of love, of creation, of sex, of desire, because desire to me is also spontaneous.
Yeah.
It's not targeted, it's not forced, it's not next Friday at 2 p.m.
Hmm.
Actually, it
Hmm.
comes. And you have to be opening your vehicle. You have to allow your body to cut but with that, it also ends. And that's the fear that we have to be very honest. Do I
Yeah.
actually have any desire left?
Hmm.
Can I be true to me? And am I afraid to be true to you?
Yeah.
Partnership, we're talking back into the, coming back into the intimacy of between two people.
Hmm.
How hard it is to actually admit this to self and God forbid to another person. I have no desire left. There's no more love. Love transmuted and transformed into totally something else.
Hmm.
Powerful,
Yeah.
powerful shift.
Yeah. And opens up a portal into sitting with your longing. And what does it mean to have this feeling, this longing that we transpose into desire for another? But really, it's like something deeper that speaks from our genes, really. It's like, yeah, listening to that voice and then realizing somewhere along the way that we thought we were in control and we're just a vehicle. And then it goes back to the humility, and the metaphor for 2026 and as it relates to this, I think is the caterpillar and the butterfly. And it's, if you think it's like you think you're big, bad, and tough and you've got everything figured out and you're just, it's like imagine a caterpillar just like flexing and being like, look at me. It's never going to enter a cocoon.
Yeah.
It's never going to. It's never going to have that death. And then I
Yeah.
think of Yaima and Aurora and these other
Mm.
artists, and they feel like it feels like butterfly energy to me. Yeah. The willingness to die to what you think you're bringing to the table, what the expectations people have around you, all of it.
Yeah, I was debating just a slight entrance into politics. I actually made a comment with the friends, and I said, imagine if every single, this like handful of men doing all this chaos, imagine if one, only one, the top one, whoever is the bulldog, comes in literally with this huge remorse, comes and apologizes to the entire world. Do you know the power of I'm sorry from that mouth that will come? It will literally change psychology of many people. Imagine how much power you actually have by just to bring the humility.
Mm-hmm.
It would change the psychology of collective immediately. If only one person, that which the eyes are all in, says, I'm truly sorry. I'm sorry
Yeah.
for everything. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah,
But you see, yes.
it would have to come with a lot of transparency and revealing the motivations and yeah, all that. Which
Yeah, but you have to feel it. You have to feel the truth of it. But regardless of who is doing it, imagine how powerful the opposition of it is. Imagine, right? So we're now talking about the new way rather than the recycled way of it's the same thing happening over and over for whatever. But it's the new way. There is the way to do it differently. And we're actually aware of it. We can all do it. One
Hmm.
simple, truthful, remorseful, I'm sorry, can shift a lot.
Yeah. Hmm. So I've been meaning to ask you, I don't know if this is the appropriate time or place, but how are you handling?
I am handling
Yeah.
great, actually. See, I I am quite shocked by my reaction, and relieved. And, I'm supposed to do something with it, but nothing.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
whole body comes in. It's like, mm-mm, what you thinking?
Hmm.
Yeah, no. Because I am recycling the fear, and I'm now aware that there's no such thing in my body. That's
Mm.
it. It's that
Yeah.
simple.
It's not true for you.
No. And more, I just open up and open up and open up, meaning I can take on larger space. My space is, I'm too big for that. That's how I
Yeah.
take it.
Hmm.
Right. So it's like, I'm too big in a sense. I outgrew it. So it's my time
Hmm.
to go. Right. So it's time to let go of anything that I held onto for so long. And it's really, really shocking to the mind, but
Hmm.
yet nothing. Often I'm supposed to, often I think that, well, I should be freaked out, panic, agony, anxious, fearful. There's none of it. And I'm
Yeah.
not mad in my mind. It simply doesn't register.
Hmm.
So I trust that
Yeah.
more than I trust this. And I've been practicing this for quite some time. It's like this just gives me lots of troubles. And when I don't actually really even know, is it mine, honestly. And I'm not
Hmm.
rejecting it. It's, of course, you know it's in my head. It's nowhere else to be. But what are the chances that I'm also tuning into someone else's thoughts as well?
Yeah. Well, it's like you might have that first response might be yours, and then it's like as you're tuning into fear, it invites the collective to be like, oh, there's like a portal over here where we can push into and express outward. So there's an element too of like, and I remember this when I was doing dieta with cannabis, is like you can become you can take your own story and then all of a sudden it just like it will just grow and grow and grow and grow. It feeds on itself and it feeds on all of the energy that's along the same wavelength, and then it's just like grows out of proportion until you explode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see how, that's why it's like, it's so powerful if you let it unhinge itself. Because like you said, it's like, it almost like it evolves itself on its own. And I'm not trying to control it, other than just like, you can go wild. It just doesn't, I don't actually trust it, right? So I don't really trust that anymore. There, yeah, this knowing, this essence inside, I don't know what it is. Is it soul? Is it energy? It just doesn't register. It's like at some point,
Hmm.
these two are going to be totally misaligned. And this one would want to control it. But there is a time, and he even mentions this here, when you are working with this sexual serpent and the Kundalini awakening, which is like, it has to come in its own time. That
Yeah.
shift will happen naturally
Hmm.
when you're ready. So I'm not trying to control anything. I'm just noticing. I'm aware that the shift is slowly changing. It's like, and I can't control it. I can enjoy it. I can be aware of it. I can get intimate with it. I can get to know it more, but where is your natural flow of energy going? Do you feel your body left behind when you're going in the direction that that's a legit visceral
Right.
feeling. It's
Hmm.
like, I'm there. I'm not here.
Hmm.
What you hear from me is just a program. Like literally, I am very separated. So when I come back into my space, I can feel myself whole. And now I have the two in my body, in my vehicle. I'm
Yeah.
centered somehow.
Hmm.
But you cannot force this. It's like, don't think you know. I am more aware that I don't know anything. And I'm
Yeah.
more aware that I'm getting comfortable not knowing rather than, and very uncomfortable knowing. You see how it's like, I can I am aware that shift is occurring and I'm not afraid of it. I'm slowly pendulating into it, slowly taking sip of it every day,
Hmm.
nonstop.
Hmm.
So you
Hmm.
asked me, am I going to be here in December? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
But if Aurora comes here in LA, you must come.
Yeah, I should look that up.
You're literally
That would
down
be
to me
cool.
yesterday.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, maybe this piece feels so strong because it's like it's routine. You know, it's how you've been as you show up in that space, this turns on and it leads. It doesn't mean you leave your nervous system behind, but it leads in that space because that's what was being asked of you from, the leadership above you and yeah. So it might just be like an unraveling, like the serpent or the
Hmm.
yeah, the blood coming back to settled state and then from there arising anew something something born anew. And again, it's like that you complete letting go. You have to release all desire to control a situation to enable something beyond, I'm speaking because I resonate quite a bit here because I've been in a liminal space with like what am I doing besides watching the kids and I have some things that I'm exploring and then I your voice pops up so often because you said don't announce it, like don't make it like this big thing. And I've been really catching myself over and over, like wanting to, it's like almost wanting to like jump into something as an identity and recognizing when I jump identity, when I have 55 at the top of my thing, I'm gonna destroy any desire to stay in that. Instead of being like, oh, I'm all I can say is like, I'm trying this out or I'm enjoying this or yeah, I dabble with that or, you know, playing here, trying something new. And then it's interesting too, is like other people don't have anything to latch on to. They don't know how to like it doesn't give them something to say like Eric is this. And then then it, by as a byproduct, I feel completely free because
Yeah.
there's no more expectations. It's just and yeah, it's
Yeah.
been a fun journey for me.
And then you're noticing who can take you as such
Right.
free. And then you're noticing you can't really connect to anybody else because there's no reliability. Why? Because many people are not free
Yeah.
of the identity. And also, one thing to add and backtrack a little bit, nobody believes in you other than you. Okay, let me just rephrase this. Nobody will believe in you more than you. Actually, people will find a flaw every time into everything that you're doing unless you stand strong. So that spine, the spiritual spine, I call it spiritual spine. It's like you can tell me how bad I am. I actually think a complete opposite. I feel opposite. You cannot be more wrong. But trust, I trust you, you will find so many mistakes in me.
Yeah.
But, right? So it's like, I actually trust that you will devalue me to the extent when you can destroy me. But when you know yourself so well, which is that teasing, you tease yourself. So you're staying in the space of creative force, which is
Mm-hmm.
equal as love. You when you creation, this flow, this power, the desire that comes in spontaneously, it's only yours. It's a raw power that you're playing with. Same like love. You suddenly become a superpower. You suddenly can move mountains. You suddenly, your entire biology changes. So to give this away is offering it to be smashed right up front. That's why I say
Mm-hmm.
it's like I need to know how to deal with such raw power and learn that. So I'm gonna keep it for myself. And the more I keep it for myself, the more I learn, oh wow, this actually is visiting me again and again and again. And not that I am that, but it's happening inside of me. And more I grow my spine to actually really mute your feedback. In a
Mm-hmm.
sense, it's like it's not necessary. So what
Mm-hmm.
happens then, you're looking for someone who is going to encourage you, who trusts that crazy part of you, which is not normal because you're disobedient or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But you cannot see my true power. I need to see it. And when I see it, I stand so strong behind it that it's coming out through my eyes. And then, of course, you get scared. You have nothing else to talk to me about, right? Because we no longer match. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm still standing strong. You can't break me anymore. Why? Because I know me. I know me so well. You're actually missing out. And you see, it's like, it's mind boggling because I trusted you, but I didn't trust me. And the moment I started trusting me and getting to know me, suddenly I'm not good for you. It's funny. Then it becomes a cosmic joke. And you will see exactly how people just like literally fall off. Like everything in life falls off that no longer encourages you and supports you in your own evolution. But that comes behind your eyes, literally
Mm-hmm.
behind your eyes. You can tell me that I am, my colleague the other day asked me, actually yesterday, Melissa, do you think you're a good person? Out of blue. We were just typing on a computer next to each other. He goes, do you think you're a good person? I said, I'm a really good person. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
good human being, actually. And I love how he asked me. He was surprised that I answered that way. But I know I'm a good human being.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. So to say what the ideas can come and flow, they can rattle you inside, but that's your internal process. Suddenly, announcing it is giving it's so fragile in its essence that you
Yeah.
don't want anything unless it's supportive nature, and majority of people will not support you in it. They can't. They don't know how to.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So
Right.
you don't need
Yeah.
advice. You need encouragement and support, pure support, trustworthy. And that you need to figure out how to trust that which supports you, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it feels too that in the intimacy with self, you learn how to listen to
Yeah.
what's true. And I think it's like all of all of my previous efforts to do something or become something were pushing through without actually listening. And I think listening is actually one of the hardest things uh, to do as a human being. It's like truly listen deeply because what comes up is not always advantageous to whatever the mind's desires are or whatever our genetic
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
urges push us towards, you know. It's like, well, if you don't have an identity, then how are you going to be recognized and become famous and have, wouldn't you want people to fall at your feet? Wouldn't you want to be worshipped in that way so that you could expand your genetic as like speaking from the male energy, right? Like so what do you like if you're just going to be nobody, then how are we going to make it It's just like that subtle undercurrent and listening deeply to that piece and also listening to this other piece, which is if we listen to the mind, it feels like there's no more time and that we're running
Mm.
out of time and that we must rush to the next thing and that we must fill in the space, that our schedule should be full and that our meetings should be booked and that we should be expanding and growing and, you know, just constant action and forward momentum. And a lot of that is illusion too. It's like what in in what spinning of that wheel was actually created. What poetry, like beyond poetry and music, what else lasts beyond this lifetime, right? So it
Mm.
emanates from the heart. That's what's true. And so to me it's like it just feels like entering a cocoon again and again. And even, we visited family, and what I notice is when I'm trying to do something, when I'm trying to become something or announce something, that conversation around career and around money and around work comes up consistently, and it's always uncomfortable because I'm in the process. It's like, why do you ask me in the process? I'm still working on it. But this time around, when I was just free to be me and not have an agenda and not have no announcing, the the topic and the conversation almost never came up.
Mm.
Besides one time with my brother, and even that was just so natural. It was like, yeah, this is what I'm doing right now. Um, and it wasn't that uncomfortable. And I think it's like if you show up and you're comfortable with wherever you're at, it's like how can someone be uncomfortable for you other than their own projections? But I'm not going to feel that. It's not going to touch me because it's so separate from where I'm at, which is like I'm actually in the pureness and the purity of uh, being transparent and finding myself, like you said, in this liminal space. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
All I know is I want more tattoos and I want to dance and I want to play music. Yeah, that's about it. And spend time with my family and be of service to Carly and what she needs and enjoy my talks with you. And yeah, beyond that, the agenda kind of stops and it opens me up to actually listening. And it's it's so refreshing because I think when I'm pushing so much, and I see this now in others, when I'm pushing so much, I don't have an opportunity to hear what's going on with you or learn something from you. It's like everyone can teach us something
Mm.
about ourselves, and I'm like, oh, I'm doing sales, or I have a blog and YouTube channel. But what other people hear is like, oh, you have your own thing and you figured it out. There's nothing that you are here to learn. You're not open. So
Mm.
interesting because back last year when we were talking about 2026 and all the Aries energy and all the shifting of the planets, what I had imagined would be happening for me would was not this. I thought it was like big and I'm gonna be doing something huge. I'm gonna be connecting. It's like, and now it's like this dispersion of the ego, like this like flattening, like
Well, your Aries is all in your first house. It's all about you, actually. Me.
yeah, yeah,
And it's internal. It's like you, first me, and then everybody else.
yeah. It's actually the up to I think it's 11th degree. It's actually in the 12th house.
Still.
Yeah, so it's I think that's part of my realization too, is having this expectation of a big shift. Meanwhile, it's still sitting in 12th house.
Yeah.
So it's like it is like there is changes happening, but it's much more of like it's still quite cosmic and I'm like really into sci-fi right now, so yeah. We'll see.
Mm, love it.
Couple of years from now. Yeah.
Yeah, all the right answers live in future. We'll find out later. But for
Yeah.
now, let me just be here. Let me be me. I'm the only job that I have actually. Actually, really. Okay, other than the parenting until they can take care of themselves. And even that, then you have to say goodbye and not, like let go so they can become
Yeah.
themselves.
I'm
And
sad for that.
well, I can only imagine it's a, yeah. Mhm.
Yep. Beautiful
Interesting.
paradox. Mhm.
Mm. Um, let's see.
Where are
Oh,
we
we
at?
have more time. I wanted to touch base on the androgyny, com the
Yeah, yeah.
gift. I think this is so cool. I found it. Okay, so the shadow is dishonesty, and then the gift is intimacy, and then is transparency. But in intimacy, he's saying once you become whatever, almost honest about the fears that you're feeling, what are you hiding? Simply as are you dishonest with yourself? Are you hiding? There is a sense of moving into the more but futuristic way of being intimate with the truth and being intimate with self, in which then you can connect with someone who is of equal frequency like you. And no more is a fear, anxious, avoidant styles and trauma bonding and all these things. To me, it's just that is so literal, and it's really not half the time what is happening. Some connections are also beyond that as well. But this androgyny way of having the sensations that are of both energies,
Hmm.
meaning both sexes, meaning in a spiritual level, we're really, as Osho was saying, really bisexual. You have both energies that are equally playing specific, whatever combination inside of you. Question is from now on, can we find a new way of not imagining? Can we use our conscious and unconscious awareness to create a new way of relating to people, relating to each other, relating to ourselves, relating to the future? Can there is a potential for us to create new? That's a 55, in my opinion. But for that, you have to think outside of what you know, what is already recycled so many times. So, what will, in your way, be a new way of intimacy for the future? Let it be 1,000 years. Go as far as don't be afraid to say, hey, in 1,000 years, we may be connecting this way. Have you thought? Have you contemplated?
Um, Not until now. That's a great question. Well, if we assume that our thoughts become less, yeah, I want to be careful with how to approach it. It seems like telekinesis, like and the clairs, maybe it's more the clairs and less of like because like tele is assuming it's like an output, but the clairs is like you just hear, you can sense, you can feel deeper, like how someone's feeling. Like you sat next to this woman and you're like, it's clair sentient, like you can feel what's in her body, right? Um, Clear audience, like I can, for me, what's coming online is like these moments where I can hear people's thoughts. Um, so it seems that's coming online, and then along with it, the androgyny, the intimacy with self, and that there's polarity in each of us, despite our physical manifestations, like how we show up in the world. We have both energies. We have the duality within us, and we become more intimate with that. So it's really, it seems that both are necessary, like the clairs and the awareness of two sides within us are necessary for each other to manifest because there's a fear on both sides. There's a fear of, oh, I don't want someone who can harm me to hear my thoughts. I don't want, so I'm going to change what I'm saying. I'm going to change even my tone. There's it's like, it's like someone who comes out of the closet for the first time and then they begin to feel more accepted by by the people around them. Then they more authentically express themselves. Their tone of voice changes. How they move your body changes. How you decide to dress changes. So it's like this suppression collectively over all these eons opens up a portal of expression. So I think we're, maybe like the next few hundred years, just be humanity collectively will be very, very expressive. And I
Hmm.
think that matches well with the Aquarian energy. Um, yeah, yeah, and beyond that, it's hard to really imagine.
It takes an effort to create new. See, that's first
Hmm.
point. Second, imagine if your partner could actually read your thoughts and you can't hide.
Yeah,
Do you think there will be connection?
yeah, it's like turbulence. You know, those that can't handle the truth of what's there.
Yeah, yeah. Of actually in the inner world. Imagine if I can actually sense, not only sense, but know for sure. Right now, it's all projection based on my own experience in the past. But imagine if I actually can hear exactly what you're saying and I can telepathically sense your. I don't have to read nonverbals anymore. I can actually sense it that something is off. And this is exactly what is happening. This is what you're thinking.
Hmm.
This is what you're feeling. You're not here. Actually, you're not here. But we have this already. And here's the beauty. I think this is just going to become more and more present. It's like
Yeah,
women tune in. And someone like Carly, someone like me, I can know when you're lying, and I don't even need to tell you.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't need to tell you. And you can tell when I know. So don't try
yeah.
to even hide. There's nowhere to hide other than just be truthful to yourself. So you're actually discovering actively who you are. You're transparently truthful in front of that person, and I no longer have to push and pull. So, yes, that's a radical honesty, radical self-knowing, and radical knowing of other. To me, this is powerful and also very, of course, scary, but now, but also possible. And if I am sensing that today I am in my masculine and I want to go and create and push and build, and tomorrow I am in my feminine, I really want to just relax and rest and nurture
Yeah.
myself. It's like I already am feeling this.
Yep.
And if I'm feeling, I'm not the only one. There's no way. Everybody,
Hmm.
like a lot of other people, humans alive in this moment, share time with me and space that feel the same. So I'm not alone in it. I'm not isolated.
Hmm.
But can I also self create and procreate? It's my question. It's like we can actually create our own future. So let me just elaborate one more thing too. You remember how we were talking about we're adding into the piggy bank, big resource, big field of love by just saying yes to love.
Yes.
Same for desire, same for spontaneity, same for creation, same for novelty, same for imagination. The mind is not here to be shrunk down to nothing. The mind is here to help us expand beyond. And if I have capacity to expand beyond, I have capacity to create for future. Though future is not there, in a moment, I'm creating potential in a moment of my awareness. So off I
Mm-hmm.
go, just growing awareness by default, because I'm part of this timeline. Okay, whatever, it's right now in the present moment. Off I go feeling so many things, so many emotions, more than just 2 generations ago. Off I go being knowing that I'm processing myself on many different layers. I don't know where they are. Are they clairs? Are they spiritual named somehow? I don't know. The fact
Mm-hmm.
of the matter is that I'm active. I am very much activated by something. And why not think of novel ways for the future if I am so activated and so aware that behind me is the past? And what's great about it is there. It's there. It's in the past.
Mm-hmm.
It's not now. It's gone. So I think our androgyny is going to show itself up with the potentials that we can actually do our own selves. Because you, as a creatrix, as a woman who has a potential to create another human being, another universe,
Mm-hmm.
another conscious, I also have a sense for it. Meaning, you're either a mother or you're not. The
Mm-hmm.
sense is there or it's not. There's no force in it. It's very natural. Some women desire deeply to experience themselves as a mother, and some don't. So if
Mm-hmm.
I have this capability of knowing that I don't want to create another life, other beings and human beings will know the same thing. So why do I need a man, right, to inseminate me when I can do the same? I'm far, far. I'm just saying, I'm way far. But why not have it as a potential? Why not being open to it?
Oh,
Self-procreation,
yeah, it's not asexual. Asexual is like,
no sex.
no, not, yeah, that's not that. Yeah. But the ability to self-inseminate and have, yeah,
Yes. Like a
interesting.
Mother Mary. Yes.
Mm.
That's what I think. So if I'm able to feel you, sense you, and I'm not gonna no longer going to be attracted to you through the genetics, okay, if we evolve to that point where in our lifetime it's not gonna happen, but still I'm able to sense when something is wrong. I'm not gonna lie. I choose not to lie. I choose to be honest to myself. That is part of my evolution. And I choose to come back to myself being honest with what I'm feeling. That means I have to say no to a lot of things. I have to say goodbye to a lot of things. I have
Mm.
to grieve. I have to end while being alive. A lot of things I have to admit the love no longer is there, that I don't feel anymore, that I feel closed off rather than expanded, that I'm contracting, not expanding, that I am stopping my evolution. I have a sense when I'm not there. When
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm elsewhere and I'm not here, I can't. There's nothing I can do about it. Same way, like there's nothing you can do to trust someone who really dislikes you. How how can you trust that person who dislikes you? You can't because you like you. It's
Mm-hmm.
hard. It's impossible. All this to say, I have a positive outlook on our evolution.
Mm. Yeah, I would presume that our biology would change quite a bit, like, our genitals and then the question I have is like, does the womb still exist? Does that still function the same way, or does that become something more ethereal? Like, is it necessary to be inside the body, or
Mm,
you know, I envision like,
sci-fi.
yeah, yeah, I envision like, like some plant that you can hold space for yeah, the embryo. Anyway,
And it's really cool
super
because it's
sci-fi.
doing its own thing. It's already
Yeah,
doing its own thing. It's already its own universe. I just carry it.
yeah,
It's
yeah. It's
cleaning
already. I
herself up.
mean, yeah, we're. I often reflect now of like the human body, especially the woman's body with the womb and the eggs and everything, and even contemplating sperm and the function that they have and the numbers alone. It's really it's like why biologically why are there millions? Why wouldn't it be three or four? I don't understand. It's like you go back to this state of we have to let go because how can we really
No.
know? I mean, we can approach it with the scientific mind, with experimentation and hypothesis, and to understand the universe further, that it expands our understanding of what's possible, and then that trickles down. Like I think that's the function of science moving forward. But also,
Mm.
that's something that can also be involuted. That's more of like the evolutionary, like we push forward, we look for things, we use telescopes, we do this sort of thing. Then there's the involution, which is the person who's just meditating and they have profound epiphanies that are beyond anything that science could approach. And maybe in the future we learn to have both existing at the same time. And actually, maybe there's like teams of people who some are meditators and some are scientists, and they work together to uncover new physics or new understandings of the universe, or the quantum nature. I don't know. Yeah, it's there's also an element of like we experience time in such a false way. It's we experience it linearly because that's the only way it unfolds into the three dimensions. And so as we unlock more of the truth of the realm of time, we potentially access different points different points on the linear scale of time that were locked to us before, as we open ourselves up to the possibilities, to the potentials. So it's like in a in a quantum reality, we have access to technologies that exist far, far in the future. Um,
Mm.
and also with time comes space. So it's like we're also seeing this bridging now, more and more and more of people being like just a general acceptance that there's probably other life out there. And what does that mean if we haven't been destroyed yet? What does that mean?
Hmm.
Because it's painted in our media and many books that any outside force with a higher technology must be controlling or want to destroy us eventually. And it's like when you really contemplate deeply about it, we we wouldn't have been allowed to get this far. Or it's like, I mean, we could take it a number of ways, but it's hard to deny the deep feeling that there's actually benevolent uh, forces out there who are kind of assisting our own evolution. And it has to come just like a parent allows a child to fall off the wall to learn, how their body works. And it's like they have to allow humanity to make certain mistakes, and maybe there's guardrails we don't know about, but uh yeah, yeah, wildly interesting when we start to contemplate the future.
Yeah, but you see how open we are to that possibility? We're actually not at all closed to a potential of unknown. We're more open to unknown than we actually want to admit because less and less of the known makes sense. And to this, the evolution itself, it's supporting us in this. It's like everything you tell me, I doubt everything. And I said this last year. The more information forced upon us in any format that is literally pounding our senses, eyes, ears, tastes, like you you realize, wait a minute, something is weird. Like you kind of get weirded out by it by nature. As if
Hmm.
the nature inside of you says like, mm, and it doesn't need to say anything else other than, mm. No more explaining. And even science, I'll go even to that extent to say it's the science is very limiting. And the only reason why, because it doesn't like to say it's wrong.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
to speak to
So
that, science has become politicized because of the
yes,
agenda around money and funding and all that.
yes,
So
yes,
the
yes, yes, yes.
the true
We agree.
science and scientists is actually expansionary. It's expanding our knowledge and our understanding, but how it's been
Uh, y-
manipulated. Yeah.
you know what Rick Rubin likes to say? He says, um, often science la turns out to prove what art has been saying for so long.
Yeah.
It's just a little late.
Yeah.
But where is art coming from? And art is total unknown and total freedom and liberation. You're actually left with your own self, right? So you have it's so much tools here to use to just tap into connecting and conversating. So talking to this and this and this. It's literally like everything is invitation. If you really, really are tuned into it.
Mm-hmm.
When you're alone, everything is invitation. When you're not alone, everything is distraction. It's
Mm-hmm.
so easy to get decentralized, decentered out of self because you're elsewhere. You're trying. But when you're alone and you have time, everything is invitation to converse, to connect to feel, to experience, to get to know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So interesting. Wow, we're right back on track. A little
Yeah.
different energy, I like, but I don't mind it.
Yeah. Yeah. What felt
Yes.
different for you?
Just coming back into the routine of getting
Mm.
into the field. I think like landing inside the space. It takes
Mm.
time. But voila,
Mm.
the
Yeah.
energy, the feminine energy does take time. She opens slowly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You?
Um, yeah, now that you say that, I feel it's probably true. I was excited to see you in the beginning. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
yeah. And then yeah, at some point I could just feel kind of like a settling. And as it settles, it pushes out. Mm.
Glad to be back.
Yeah. It's
So it's good.
beautiful. 59.
We we thought we'll end by April. Still
Yeah.
to go. See, I love that we cannot at all. Everything that we think is gonna happen, it's not gonna happen. So why think? Why think?
Mm. Yeah. No time for thinking.
Waste the time. Catch you
Hmm.
on Wednesday.
Okay, we'll see you then.
Ciao.
Ciao.